Um, no, I've been studying to get a certification as a drug and alcohol addictions counselor. So I've been studying a lot about
IQ,
addiction, and different disorders like psychopathy, sociopathy, narcissism, that kind of a thing. As it relates to addiction, what you find within addiction is that over 95% of addicts are basically doing it through because of they've had childhood trauma. And
what about low IQ?
Childhood trauma. What happens is they typically either become narcissistic or they become codependent. Now,
I mean, that's quite a broad brush.
Yeah, they don't have a sense of self. They don't.
Right, Nick. So what if they're just somebody like from a group of people who have low IQ? Would that contribute to the drug and alcohol addiction?
Low IQ, typically low IQ people fall into a more addictive, but it also depends on what drugs they're going for, the environment they're raised in, and what.
Nick, I'm trying to remember where I know you from. Do I know you from somewhere? Please help me out, guys.
I'm not sure.
Because you two know him.
Well, don't be shy, Nick. Don't be shy. You've made the ripoff for and you're like semi-famous.
I've been on Secular Show, but I don't recall who Annabelle is. I'm sorry.
Have you done coke in the last 30 days?
I'm trying to. The what?
Never. This inside joke. Never mind.
Well,
Nick,
can I ask you, Nick, can I ask you, are you an addict? Stop it, Molly.
God, no.
Well, I am a recovering alcoholic drug addict, clean for about 20 years, bar a couple of mishaps, but never mind, won't talk about them. And I don't think that you can just pinpoint it to one specific, like codependency or narcissism. There's a huge range of different personalities that get addicted. It's more to do with the chemicals in your brain than anything else.
Yes and no. There's a lot of good science arguing for both sides of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people that argue that it's nature. Plenty of people argue that it's nurture. There is no definite scientific solid agreement in which it is. So there's a lot of opinions about addiction, and there's a lot of reasons why people become addicted. People that don't drink at all get into their 40s, something happens, have had a fantastic life, no problems, and then maybe their husband walks out and that's it, they're addicted. So there's all different reasons. I don't think you can pinpoint it down just to one specific. And by the way, I wasn't talking about myself.
There's a range of variables. There's a range of proclivities.
There's lots of people that are
for example, a person might be have the proclivity for addiction, but because of environment or upbringing or whatever,
exactly,
they never touch a drug, or they might just not find something that they enjoy. Another person could have a little bit of proclivity, but through enough trauma, enough of propaganda.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That it's not
opioids and never be able to stop. I mean, it's just like when people recover from addiction. You have certain addicts who they need to go to a meeting every day to stay off the alcohol.
Yeah.
There's other people who they get, one DUI or spend one night in jail because they got too drunk, and they're just like, I ain't touching the stuff ever again. They may want to, but they have enough willpower and discipline to keep themselves from doing it. But then, of course, you have to ask yourself, what's the nature of addiction? And then you have to look at, and of course, the chemicals in the brain, personality, all that plays into it. It is a very complex subject. And I think there's a lot of disservice done to addicts in that our society likes to simplify everything down into one or two little things. So if we just tweak this,
well, that's what I thought you were doing, Nick, because it's
going to be solved, and it's not.
Nick, that's what I thought you were doing, in that you said that it's either codependency or narcissism, and I think those are just two of one of many reasons why people become. Yeah, I think there is no rhyme or reason behind addiction. Unfortunately, it can happen to anybody, any family, any class, any financial situation. It's And when it takes hold, it can destroy.
Studying. It's
Sorry,
like
I was just talking. I don't know if you could hear me. Can you not hear me talking?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
He kind of tunes out women when they start talking too long.
You're not one of those, are you, Nick?
No, you're fine. I'm working on not interrupting people. I was just wanting to show you, like, because I want to prove that I do have credibility in this field somewhat. I am just learning about it. But
what qualifications do you have then?
I'm working towards my certification. I have studied a lot on my own. So basically, I have some degree of credibility.
So you're layman.
I not consider that, but you know,
with respect, I think that you need to remember that without any qualifications, it's hard to, you know, to be considered credible in that you're an expert. Maybe you've done. I mean, we can all have a look on the internet and all read up on stuff. We can even, like me, experience addiction, but it doesn't make us experts.
Did I say I was an? No, I'm not saying I was an expert.
Okay.
Did I say I was an expert?
But you're just like me, and like anybody else in this room that's maybe, you know, read up about addiction or who's had an interest because maybe they've got a family member who's an addict. You're no different to the rest of us.
Yeah, we can have a conversation about that. Yeah. I've never. Did I say I was an expert? If I implied,
you were trying to give that impression, just in my opinion.
Could you tell me how I gave that impression?
By saying that you've spent, you know, you're working towards
you just literally use the word credibility.
Working towards,
and then said that you had credibility, which I'm sorry, I don't believe that's a word that you should be using when you've got no qualifications.
The word. Well, then you have to ask how do you define qualifications? Because if somebody's studied a subject for a number of years.
Well, I can study. I can study.
So you don't think self-study? Well, can I ask you a question then? So you don't think that? So if somebody's self-studied a subject for a number of years, they don't have any credibility. But if somebody studies it for,
I don't, because you can study all you like. Doesn't make you
certification. They're magically an expert.
You want me to answer you?
No, but it's about a standard, right? Like when people have credentials,
exactly.
and they actually have the effort to put letters behind their name. It's like that is a standard, you know, that they've met. Now, it doesn't mean that you're wrong or that you're not intelligent. It just means you're a guy on the internet, right?
Nick, can you just stop talking just for 2 seconds?
No. So I'll give you a perfect example. There's a guy named True Empiricism that claims that he studied, and Annabelle knows where I'm going. Like, he claims that he's been self-studying chemistry for years, and I've been self-studying, and then I've been actually going to school and taking chemistry courses for the last 8 years, damn near. And I can actually, I'm at the point where I can like operate at the undergraduate level in a biochemistry lab doing research. There's a huge difference between our knowledge and ability when it comes to chemistry. People like you can say, you know, I picked up a few books, but not everybody's an autodidact. I've met probably only two autodidacts the entire time I've been on Google Plus and YouTube. Everybody else picks up factoids that they think make them knowledgeable or have a comprehensive knowledge of any topic. Knowing factoids does not mean that you know a topic at all.
Exactly. My point is that you can read and read and read for as many years as you want, but if you don't understand what you're reading, you can think that you know everything, but you don't until you actually get qualifications or you get taught all the different aspects of a subject, or you learn how to understand different aspects of a subject. I mean, you already, that's why I was questioning you, because the way you said, oh, well, there's 2 types of addicts. And that's what you said, Nick. You actually said there's 2 types of addicts, codependents and narcissists. And immediately I was like, no, Nick, please let me finish.
I phrased it.
Yes, it is.
I phrased it that way. I'll have to go back and look at the conversation.
Anyway, I was still talking. Anyway, okay, I understand.
And so I need to work on rephrasing.
That's why I question your credibility, because you say things that aren't right. So I just, you know, I don't believe that you have credibility just because you've read up on a subject for 10 years. I don't care. Get a qualification to show that you've worked in that field and you've actually done some work experience. You've actually, you know, had worked with addicts, that sort of thing.
That's the plan.
Well, that's fine. Then you will be credible. But for now, you're no different to the rest of us on the panel.
I am not saying I am. I'm. I mean, are you guys feeling? Okay,
as an addict myself, I don't like it when laymen talk about the subject that I clearly know quite a lot about, and it's clear to me they don't know a lot about. That's what riles me up. And I, you know, at the end of the day, come back to me when you've got qualifications, and I might, you know, if you were an addict. Or you had you were a codependent and you had an addictive mother or a son or whatever, we could talk properly. But just saying that you've read a few books and you've studied it for a while means nothing to me.
Not what I said at all.
Yeah, it kind of was.
I'm really trying very hard to be polite, and I'm.
Oh, no, don't be. You can be as rude to me as you like.
This conversation is very disconnecting because I actually don't feel like I'm being heard.
Well, I feel like take a tip from me. This is how you react to people.
I feel like I'm being lectured at. I feel like I'm being lectured at.
Don't go down the counselling route, whatever you do, because if you're this sensitive, you will fail the people. You will fail the people that you are currently. I can do this too. You know, I'm just as smart at this as you are. I will keep talking if you keep talking.
So I'm not allowed to have a conversation.
No, you're just talking over me. You're just talking over me, so there's no conversation.
Very disrespectful.
Yeah, well, that's tough. Sorry.
You're very disconnecting. I do know quite a lot about
addiction. Don't talk to me then.
I do know quite a lot about psychology. I'm sorry if you don't feel like I do. I'm not saying that I'm an expert. I never said that. But I do know a lot more about the subject than most people. I know a lot more about addiction than most people. I know more about psychology than most people. Yes, I do.
You sound like Ron. You sound like Ron.
No. You do not tell me what I know and don't know.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Very disrespectful.
Can people gauge other people's knowledge on topic, Nick?
But I am not.
If you think you're going to work with addicts with an attitude like this, you are sadly mistaken. If you're this sensitive and this easily upset, I suggest you stay well away from addicts.
Did he take off?
Yeah.
He quit. I
can still see him. All right, okay. Sorry, guys, but I don't.
Yeah, it is what it is. Hey, Nick, if you want to come back in, you're welcome to come back in. I think there was another topic I was hoping that we'd get to actually with Nick, but
so explain to me about this guy. Do I know him?
He goes by the name Corky.
Or by the name by what? Sorry.
He has a nickname, Corky.
Corky.
Yeah, if you look up Corky Nick Bravo on YouTube, you probably.
Was he around? You know, like when I was.
He's been around. I don't know. He's kind of got his own little niche corner of the internet. He has his own colorful history, let's say, on the internet.
I mean, because both of you keep dropping in like little hints that I'm trying to think. Should I know this guy? Do I remember him? Was he? Is it something? Can message me and tell me what I'm missing out?
Well, like I said, he made the rip-off report.
Rip-off report.
That's like an actual, like, it's kind of like a tabloid TV show where they feature people who've been involved in scams and stuff.
Oh, he did. And why did he make the rip-off report?
Well, there was an incident with like selling people's houses that were already dead. Didn't exactly own the deeds.
Oh, if I'd have known that before I got lectured about addiction, I'd have gone far harder on him.
Oh, he's been to prison, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did time. That's what made the rip-off report. He's in his little yellow fucking jumpsuit with the freaking little cuffs on, pleading with the judge.
This is what worries me about people like him, is that there are vulnerable people out there that will believe that he's credible. He shouldn't be anywhere near addicts, someone like that.
It's about narcissism. It's nothing's his fault. It's always the fault of narcissists. Every time I talk to him, every time I see him, it always goes back to, well, narcissism or narcissist. It's never Nick is just a fucked up person who can't get his life put together and won't take responsibility. It's never that. Ever.
Yeah, I do like bad boys, but I like smart bad boys. I like bad boys that can make me laugh.
No, it's not. No, it's not.